Good morning, everybody. And it's your boy, the Trade Daddy. And today, I'm breaking down my top picks of the week. I'm going to be breaking down in another video my covered calls and where I see adding some shares to my Roth. I'm in a few value add companies, I guess. And then I also, like every week, I give my Forex and my futures plays for the week. But today, it's the options and stocks. And the first one is AMD. As you know, NVIDIA has been ripping lately. It's been on a tear uh, for a while, actually. I mean, it's like the new Tesla, basically. But AMD is kind of fallen behind. But as you see here, we've gotten this trend line break. Now, last week, it reclaimed the 50-day moving average, which is that blue line, got the trend line break. It was an A-plus setup. I didn't trade it. I was more focused on some other stocks and some other names and everything. But this name now has reached the height of this consolidation prior trend line area. And we're looking for it to break, which it in pre-market, you see pre-market is at 174. I've got this alert set at 174.50, 175 area. Now, if this breaks out and breaks over, we could see it go back to test this 185 area and ultimately probably push back up and test the 200 area if we get enough momentum behind it. You see the RSI showing some strength, the MACD showing some strength as well across that zero line, and we're actually getting those lines about to cross right there. So that is my play on AMD. Another favorite one, it's in everyone's watch list, is Amazon. Amazon recently has tickled, if not pushed over the 200 day, or the 200 whole number. Right here, you can kind of build the case that this is an ascending triangle. I don't really want to put too much faith in that pattern right here, but if you want to look at it that way, you can. Now, what we've got for today is we've got a high in the pre-market of roughly 250, 201-ish. And I'm looking to take that long over the pre-market highs. And as long as this name keeps pushing throughout the week up higher and higher, you can just look to keep playing it long. So we had a parabolic move in the tech sector last week. Friday, 1% day up. That was very, very, not really parabolic, but for the indexes, that's a nice move. But we're just seeing them continue to post all-time highs, so continue to watch this post all-time highs. Another one that we're talking about is Apple. Apple recently broke out over its all-time high at 221, pulled back to hug the 9-day moving average, now is broken back up and over it. This is going to be the same analysis as Amazon here, same theory, same principles. Over the pre-market highs, which are right now, I think, right around 228. I know it says 227.45 over there, but I think we were up a little bit more earlier. I would look to continue to take it over that. Okay, we're looking to take it long over that. Another A name in our watch list for this week. And if you guys are seeing this right here, you are more than welcome, of course, to copy my watch list. It's there to help you guys. It's there for me. I made it. There might be a name on there that you want to add to your watch list. So I mean, honestly, I don't know why some of these people think like, oh, I made this watch list. That's copyrighted. No, dude, just we're all in this together. Take the plays. Anyways. ARM, you see that we had come back up, broke over the recent high, or actually all-time high again. Once again, that's been the mantra with this crazy market, is just all-time high breaks. Broke out, pulled back though, tested it, boom, broke back out again. Same principle as the other one, guys, as the other A names that I just called out. We are looking at a pre-market high break and a continuation throughout the week of higher highs. Okay, take a sip of this coffee real quick, and then we're gonna get into Disney. Disney's a name that's not posting all-time highs. It's not on our bullish list. It's on our bearish list of stocks. All right. What we got here now is this level of consolidation that it broke down, okay? This was a gap fill area. This green box right here was a gap that we filled. Now it looked like it was finding some support at the bottom of that gap. And what we didn't get was a confirmed bounce back up. It had trouble holding that 200-day moving average, which is the dotted green line right there. Now, what you see, too, is the 50-day moving average is starting to curl down and cross over the 200-day moving average. Some might consider this the death cross with the path that it's going. The inverse would be called a golden cross, but we're looking at a very bearish pattern momentum here. We've broken down the $100 hold number. I'm looking for this to continue. We just got an alert there on ES. So futures are pushing up. Looks like we're going to have a green day. Anyways, we're looking for this to break down below 96.77. We're looking for this momentum to continue south. So have your alert set at right around 96.50, maybe 96.75, and look for this to keep breaking down over the next few days. Now we're going to go into another one that I forgot about that is pushing all-time highs again, and one of my favorite places to shop at, Costco. So Costco recently had a high of right around 88.75.50. Broke over that pre-market. It's at 886.25. We're just looking for that to keep posting higher highs. It's riding this 50-day moving average, keeps going up. It's riding the 9 and 21, hasn't really cracked below it. It wanted to when it broke out over right here, but then it came back up, and with undeniable strength, this thing keeps pushing. Another stock that keeps knocking on all-time highs and has undeniable strength is Google. If you watch some of other videos, we saw the way it was breaking down a triangle over here. We thought that we could take it short, and I got smoked on that position. There's nothing wrong with taking a loss, but there is something wrong with holding a little bit too long and thinking that you are smarter than the market, which I am not. And we got this move over the previous highs, over let's call it 180. And I thought I was going to reject right here. That's why I had a little bit more faith in it too. I said, oh, cool. It came up, tested all-time highs. Now we're just going to sink back down to 50-day moving average. Wrong. So it ended up hugging. The pre-market's down a little bit over 189.50. The recent high was probably, I think, 191. So maybe look for support to catch at 186.50 if it does. Look for a little bounce there, a little potential scalp throughout the day. But inevitably, once again, over 191, pushing into the highs. If we see the tech sector keep pushing like we think it's going to, there's a lot of economic data this week, so make sure you check. I like to use Forex Factory. Make sure you check that for all of your news that's coming in. And the analysis is pretty much the same. You got the MACD, it's starting to curl back over. You've got the RSI that's showing it's just started to peek its head into the overbought territory. But as you know, like look over here. I mean, that thing had peeked its head over into the overbought territory, and it took forever for it to curl over. So just because it's overbought doesn't mean it needs to correct. It just means that it is strong. Going down was one that is not posting all-time highs just yet, but is coming off of a downtrend break. We alerted this last week. We saw that the downtrend was breaking. Again, it bounced over at the 50-day moving average. We are still up there. I would keep my alert set on Goldman Sachs over 471. Okay. Same thing with this one. This is another great name, another financial name is JP Morgan. This one actually is posting all-time highs. It broke out up over that, broke the downtrend, bounced off of the 50-day, just like Goldman Sachs. A lot of these financial stocks, of course, have the same type movements. It just kind of depends on who has more momentum. And right now, I think JP Morgan is the one with momentum. Right now, at the pre-market, it's at 204.27. I would look to take this name short under 200, but I would also look to take it long over 211. Okay, so that's kind of the range that I'm looking at trading there. Another name that has made a comeback since its earnings is Meta. As you see here, Meta gap down for earnings. We had it was like gap inception. It's a gap within a gap. But you had the gap fill right here. Then you had a partial gap fill right there. We still got a little bit of room down. I mean, not much, nothing that's worth the risk reward here. But we got the gap fill on both ends, in my opinion. And we pushed up over the 50-day moving average again. And then we got this Hulk Dick candle that just broke all-time highs. Right now in the pre-market, it sits at 542.25. If this pushes up over I think it's 544 was the highest that we had in the pre-market, you can look to take this long. I would look to take this name short under 532. Those are my technical points right there. 532 was the previous high, so we can look for that to hold as support. Remember, guys, prior resistance, when it's broken, becomes support. Okay. Some honorable mentions here that we're going to go through very, very quickly is Bank of America. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because these are just kind of my side watches. But Bank of America recently broke out of its high at 433. It's coming back to retest that underneath $40. I think you can look to take this name short. Otherwise, look for a bounce here and look for it to come back up and retest. Now, the next name on my list is another household favorite here, and we are looking at Microsoft. Okay. Microsoft posting all time highs again. In the pre market, it's at 467.72. So we can look to play that long over that point. I don't think there's any reason to fight the bull here with Microsoft. I think you just look to take this long, if anything. There is no interest for me to short this at any point. Sorry about that burping. But next one is Tesla. All right. Tesla has it's been in this downtrend. Now I didn't have that because that was just kind of like one point. When drawing lines, they're kind of subjective. And a lot of people will look at your chart that you post lines on or trend lines or whatever or patterns, and they're like, oh no, you're stupid, that's not how it's supposed to go. Well, I'm not stupid. This is just how I have it. This is the lines that I drew, and this is what I think is true. I have significant points of touch here. One, two, three, four. 4 points of contact. If I drew a line out there, it'd just be ancillary and just be outer, and Tesla just moves, whatever. Anyways, this thing is ripped after it broke out. I thought that it was going to continue back down a little bit just with the, recent earnings call and the looming earning calls coming up, which I believe it's in July 23rd. So, maybe we got momentum going into the 23rd. Maybe it pulls back because people are fearful of what Tesla's going to report. Here's what I do know. Okay. This right here is going to be a level of resistance, 266, let's call it. If this in the pre-market, it's at 248. If we break out over 252, don't be afraid to take this long. Okay, continue to take this long. There's gaps to fill along the way. You got a little gap right here under 235. You got another little gap under here at about 220, 219, maybe like 218. I'm sorry, 218 down to 214, 213. If those gaps get broken down, you can look to have them filled. I wouldn't look to play this short. We all know Tesla will smoke your shorts. But I do think that there's a good chance this pulls back. I think that you're best off waiting for it to kind of make just a crazy move back up to this peak right here at 265 before you do try to take it short, because RSI is showing that it should pull back, that it's imminent. But like I said before, usually, like as you see in my chart, I get these crosses that show green to red, like right here. RSI came, bounced up, got a sell signal, boom, take it long. Right there is bearish, whatever. You got bullish divergence right there, but that's not the case. That's just my input on Tesla. I would just watch this name. If you're looking to play something, if you're looking to play Tesla this week, that's where I've got it locked in at. Now, the next one is Walmart. Walmart recently did a split, just like NVIDIA, and upon the split, it kind of just lulled around, pushed up, but then lulled around up here. And yeah, you could say that's a pennant, a little triangle pattern it's breaking out of. But the basis of my analysis is that it broke out over this high at $69. It's over the $70 whole number. If this holds 70, look to take it long. If not, you can try to play it short. I just wouldn't touch it at that point. I would just look for 70 to hold and continue to keep posting higher highs. The other one, real quick, right before we go and right before I let you go, sorry this video was a little bit longer than we thought, but we are going to be looking at Reddit. Reddit is a recent IPO that got released. It pulled back upon release, or I'm sorry, pushed up and then pulled back, came up. This is kind of maybe a cup and handle, but regardless, we are flirting with the highs in the pre-market. It's sitting right underneath them. I think that if you break over 75 and it tests 76 and breaks out over, this is a perfect name to go long. So let's just keep an eye on that. And like I said, this is my side chart. This is my side watch list. Look for later on in the day, I'm going to be dropping my futures watch list and my covered calls and just some shares that I'm adding to my Roth. Remember, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to follow along. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, don't forget to drop them down below. And I will see you next week for another great watch list to start off your beautiful week. Have a good one. Trade safe.